what really should be talked about right now in regards to what's going on in Utica politics, the mayor's race, would be the issues, right? Isn't that what we should be talking about? But up to this point, there's been no talk of that. It's all other items that are sucking all the oxygen out of the room. Samantha Colosimo Testa standing by right now. Good morning, Samantha. What's your take on all this? The video's out. The report is out. What's your take?
I mean, probably the biggest waste of taxpayer money since, I don't know, paying the mayor's salary, because at this point in time, I'm just disgusted what's been going on inside the city. And I think it's blatantly obvious that the past month has been nothing but an investigation for a supposable brawl. Okay? Not one time has anybody in the past month talked about an actual issue.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating knowing that we have an election for a mayor's race 7 weeks away. Okay? And this has been clouded with it.
Yeah.
So I think after today, I can speak for myself and several other thousand few residents in regards to this, basically saying, let's not talk about it anymore.
Yeah,
let's move on. Let's get to the issues. We saw the video. Nothing's going to come out of this. And that's basically it. I mean, you guys saw the
Sam,
video.
Let me ask you this.
Did you see anything that...
I watched the video this morning. It looked like things were maybe about to boil over. Is that appropriate conduct for a council meeting? Is that how people should be talking and dealing with each other at a meeting? And would you appreciate it if someone talked to you like that? I know you wouldn't.
No, and I wouldn't take the fact if somebody talked to me like that. Am I saying has my conduct been appropriate? Have I said a few choice words to a couple people in my tenure in my past 8 years on the council? Yeah, I have. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and disclose that. But does that warrant an investigation on me?
Do you know,
as far as workplace violence? I mean, I don't know. So where is the threshold? I mean, I guess my point is, what is the outcome if somebody does talk to somebody like that? I mean, physical conduct, yeah. I mean, there was words that were said that were very, very, very inappropriate. I'm not condoning that by any means. I would never use those words in my professional line of work as a teacher. Absolutely not. You know, and that's I guess what you've got to make the conclusion is what. Okay, yes, they did make a few choice words that were inappropriate, but what's going to come out of it?
Do you know how much was spent? Point. Do you know how much was spent?
That's a good question. How much was spent on this?
It had to at least be a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Like
I mean, I'm not saying it was
hour,
probably tens of thousands of dollars, but, yeah. I mean, it was a month-long investigation at $300 an hour. So I'm assuming that it had to at least cost a few $1,000s in regards to it.
Well, the report said there was interviews. Each interviewee was listed in the report on that day. So at least there was probably over.
Okay, you want to know the number?
Yeah.
But it's according to Mike Galimi, it's in the range of $20,000 it was spent on this.
Get out of here. Are you kidding me?
I'm not.
$20,000 on that report that they couldn't have watched the video and made a determination with the Human Resource Department themselves?
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
That costs more than an election.
Right.
You have got to be kidding. I hope it wasn't $20,000 because if that's the case, then people should be irate.
I will.
Irate.
Mike will be in here next, and we'll chat with him. But he's saying that it is not an exact number, but it is in the range of $20,000.
Yeah, because
and when you think about it, at $300 to $350 per hour from the moment he leaves his doorstep in Syracuse, you're dealing with at least 5 or 6 hours per day, and maybe more at $350 an hour. That's going to add up.
I guess it was publicity for the mayor then for the past month because that's all that's been talked about. You know, and if you read the actual the press release that was made, I want to keep the city moving forward. Okay, the whole start of this began with term limits, and I think that everybody has to remember that the mayor would have never have been a contender in this race had he not extended terms. Okay, so again, this is nothing but politics that have been going on inside the city, and witnessing what's been going on is truly disgusting. I mean, I'm to the fact that it's like I'm watching things go on. And it's like I want to put a for sale sign on my house because it's absolutely disgusting the amount of corruptness that has gone on inside this city over the past several years.
Sam, I know somebody who can help you with that.
$20,000 on a report? Are you kidding me?
River Hills Properties with Andrew Dominio.
Names right.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other. There were a lot of typos. I did hear that. Right, there were typos. Names were misspelled. Is it DeBrango's name? DeBrango's name was misspelled.
D-I and it's D-E in there. Yeah.
I mean, it's stupid to think about, but I mean, you have a professional coming in that's doing a report that's actually released to the residents and released to council members, and this is.
Yeah.
It's totally absurd. $20,000 for a report that my fifth grade class could have wrote a better job doing it. I mean, honestly, that's what it comes down to, But it's a big distraction, guys. Don't forget it. It's been nothing but a distraction for this actual race.
What should the issues be that are being talked about right now?
Why we're wasting money on a pothole killer that's not even filling potholes? Okay, that's number one. Number two is what is a long-term financial plan for residents? Again, you have an 8% tax increase last year. You have a negative 2% tax decrease, which, to be quite honest, is probably gone now that we just spent the $20,000 on a report for an investigation.
There goes your surplus. Yeah.
What is everybody's long-term plan for the city? What is the future? What is your your goal for the harbor? What is your goal for? I mean, you can't just plop down asphalt plants in the middle of the city and then expect people just to say, "Oh, hey, that's a wonderful idea."
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be long-term planning going on inside the city. What do they plan on doing with the hospital? How do they plan on talking with business owners? I mean, these are issues that are up and coming. And looking at the past history of what's gone on inside the city, these have been private investors that have invested money inside this city. Okay? No, I don't think at any point in time has the city helped anybody, invest their time and money inside their business, unless it's been a benefit of a council person or something along those lines.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't begin to explain, where my frustration begins with this council alone. No, I'm just saying you have a majority leader that's making motions on amendments that they don't even know how to make motions on amendments. And these are the people that are legislating inside your city. It's actually mind-boggling that people have been on the council. I've been on the council with people for the past 8 years, and they've never even sponsored legislation. I mean, when are these people going to be held accountable for their limitless actions on the council inside the city? And it's an actual detriment because they have no idea what they're doing to the future of the city.
You are on fire today, by the way. Samantha Colosimo Testa, one last thing. I'm a true believer that we're here for a reason. We talk to you. Mike Galimi comes on. Whenever other council members as well come on, including Joe Marino. We have not had the mayor since the deputy fire chief issue that occurred with the young kid. We have not had the mayor on these airwaves to talk about issues. Now, I know he came in while I was in the hospital, and he came in on a charity event. But other than that, I can't get him to appear on this show. Does he owe it to the constituents of Utica to come here and answer my and listeners' questions?
Guys, I've been a council person for 8 years now. I've been to over 300 meetings. Okay, no, actually, that's just probably in the past couple of years. I've probably been to over 1,000 meetings inside City Hall. You know how many council meetings the mayor's been to? One. You know how many committee meetings the mayor's been to? 2 in the past 8 years of me being a council person. So he only owes it to you. He owes it to the council. He owes it to the constituents. The only time he comes around is in election time. Okay, he's been to the North Utica Association meeting once every year to present his budget. His department heads don't come to our meeting, and I will say, as far as the deputy chief of police and the fire department are always present at our meetings. But that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we get zero respect as a council. But why would they come to a meeting when half the council already meets with the mayor in his office behind closed doors? There's zero transparency inside City Hall. The fact that a council person voted on I don't know if you guys saw it. It was 268 Genesee Street, LLC. It was granting an easement for a skywalk inside the city that was connected to a city-owned building to the building on 268 Genesee Street, LLC.
All right.
And it was a council person's father that was purchasing that skywalk. They voted, not only pulled the legislation after I asked to be in committee because I've never seen us grant an easement when purchasing a property. Okay, usually you purchase the property. What's the point of having an easement? So I just had literally some general questions. The council person pulls the resolution out of committee, votes on the public hearing, never discloses the fact that it's her father's company that she also works for. So yesterday at the meeting, I go, She goes, I'm going to recuse myself. I said, well, don't you think you should have did that last week when you called for the public hearing? I said, now the public hearing's over with. I said, how is anybody supposed to have any questions if you're pulling the legislation out of committee and voting on it?
Yeah.
And again, where is the transparency? You mean to tell me that this legislation went through the Urban Renewal Agency, it went through the council, and no one has any questions on it? This is the type of stuff that's been going on inside the city for the past several years, and no one's been held accountable for any of their actions.
I want to ask you, how are you going to handle not being on the council?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
She's going to enjoy educating young minds.
Okay, all right.
Well, I hope I can say this. We're going to miss you. We are going to miss you big time.
Yeah.
Not only for your
anywhere.
comments, but I think you do bring a lot of common sense. I think to some conversations that could use it. So.
You want to know what the common sense on the common council ain't so common. So,
it ain't so common.
Try to bear with me there.
I think I'm going to use that quote. I like that quote.
And hey, if you're going to sell that house, give me a call.
Samantha Colosimo Testa.
Absolutely.
Thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good day.